I think I got the bug when I was about 2 or 3 years old. I was flying on airplanes all the time, even then when I was a kid. And it never left. Right the way through my childhood, I was flying. The Far East, the West Indies, boarding school in England, backwards and forwards to see the parents in the holidays. And these were long journeys then. 3 or 4 days to get to the Far East. So you got the bug. They offered me a job at the time as a steward. So then I did a few other jobs and then joined BCAL. When I went into BCAL, at the very bottom was as a check-in agent and worked on the ramp. And then I joined the corporate planning unit of BCAL in those days. A lot of the people that had been in that unit had gone to Gulf Air, and they kept sending me messages, come on, this is the place to be. I was there for 10 years. I was fairly much involved in how the company shaped. It was a really good grounding for me. So I came in as head of airline planning, and my task was, in those days, on the clean sheet of paper, to try and map out what this airline was going to look like. All I can say is that the team of people, there were about 10 of us, were all like me, anoraks, geeks, aviation fanatics. And they were all so fired up about having a clean sheet of paper and to build something from nothing. Not many aviation professionals in this day and age get the opportunity to do that.
There's underlying dedication and kind of, I would say, love for this industry and for aircraft and for everything flying.
So it became not only a work thing, it was a hobby. We didn't really know how we were going to do this, how we would be received, how Dubai would be able to deal with what was coming. We started to acquire smaller wide bodies. The A310-300 became the workhorse for us. One was to create a service delivery, an in-flight service product, which blew the world apart, frankly. We went after that in a very, very big way. So we had to get noticed by what we were doing. And frankly, that wasn't very difficult to do because the product offering of most of the carriers in those days was seriously bad.
Let's talk about the 380. Great aircraft, everybody loves it. And the passengers adore it.
When the original designs were presented to me of the 380, I said it's too small.
Tim was instrumental in kind of pushing Airbus to develop the plane, the A380, in a way that would be serving Emirates in a perfect manner.
He is the mastermind of the 777-300ER and of course of the A380 800.
I worked very closely with some designers in the Hamburg design unit of Airbus under wraps. Even their management didn't know what we were doing.
And sometimes even Airbus said something was impossible, and he then deployed his own engineers to prove to Airbus that indeed it was true.
I think it's really interesting that in so many ways the 380 only ever really worked for Emirates. And I think that tells you it's a very different kind of airline.
The more we did, the more our products were accepted, really liked. I knew the 380 would take us to another level.
We also persuaded Airbus that they have a partner that they can trust, and then built the aircraft.
And I never had a single doubt in my mind about the capability of that aeroplane being able to transform Emirates from what it was in the late 90s to what it was to become.
Every major, big, wide-body aircraft that has come from either Boeing or Airbus has got Tim's fingerprints all over it.
He puts doors on first class, now everybody's doing it. He puts virtual windows in first class. He has the first showers on board a plane.
You have to remember, Tim is so involved in every aircraft you bought, you know. Sometimes we believe he knows everything about it, you know, or even more than the Boeing people itself or the Airbus people.
Tim wants to give people a premium experience even at the back of the bus, with light colours, with decent amount of legroom, with amazing IFE, actually very good chicken curry.
He was a little late on premium economy. He wanted to see how that was going, but now their premium economy is world leading.
If there's a legacy that I ever have, it was to change out the way the manufacturers thought about product. Because before then it had all been about wings and airframe and cockpit avionics and digitalization, but they seem to forget the cabins.
From one hotel room to another one. This is the game changer seat.
I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds, thousands probably of CEOs over the years. And Tim stands out for a number of reasons. He really does answer the question. And even when it's awkward, Tim would always answer it. And that creates trust.
Every conversation that I've ever had with Sir Tim has generated headlines, and those headlines have rippled out across the industry.
Tim is still special because he's doing this wider thing and not just having his company or his career in mind.
It's an interesting one, actually. I don't think he's ever gone off the record. I don't think he's ever said, I'm going to tell you something, but this is off the record. Everything's on the record.
If you're a supplier, he is not always comfortable to deal with. Is he respected? Absolutely. Does everyone love him? No.
Everyone gets nervous when he shows up, you know. I think he's one of the highest respected personalities in the aviation business. There's always a big hello when he arrives.
Too many CEOs are often scared of their own shadow, not Sir Tim. Sir Tim will tell you how it is.
I used to ask him when he was going to retire, and I've given up. I gave up a while ago.
He's still around and he's way past retirement age, but he still has a lot to say. There's 777X, there's new cabins. Nothing's changed.
Why stop when you're in a position to shape the future, not only of Emirates, but also the entire industry?
Every time for the last 10 years, you've told me that you're about to retire and then you never do. So just don't, just carry on. Carry on. Keep calm, keep Emirates, and carry on.